Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back to LEGO DC Supervillains. So, it was a little slow going, but we were able to get, it looks like, everything done in Smallville, and so now we are in Metropolis looking for collectibles. There's a Martian Manhunter outfit, which I was rather shocked in the main story that we didn't see Martian Manhunter as a character in the overall area and in the main story, as far as something you would think you would interact with. So that was at the top of the Daily Planet, and it looks to me like there is probably a door inside the Daily Planet, so let's see what is inside that door, because it doesn't seem like there's actually a gold brick there. Yeah, there is a gold brick there. Noticeably also, if I wasn't a flying character, it doesn't seem like there's a way you could get up here, which seems weird because there's about half of this open world definitely feels like they were going to have you play as characters that could not fly upward. So breaking newsstands does not move forward towards a challenge. I think breaking phone booths probably will. Breaking trash cans doesn't lead towards a challenge. We're generally just trying to figure out what the challenge is in Metropolis. Yeah, telephone terror. So we're looking for those things. And so we're in a unique position, a very empty room here that just does not make sense that it would be this empty. And here you have a, let's see, you have a picture of just the Venice canals, which is not Legofied in any way and really doesn't have any reason to exist compared to, say, a cartoony, more Legofied picture here. So why have such just a sharp contrast right next to each other, other than the fact that you can break that and you can't break that? So obviously there was some ambition to have a much bigger open world in which you entered most of the areas.
The number one newspaper in the world. While visiting today, please take time to view our modern science inspired by Superman. We here at the Daily Planet have harnessed our energy for this building from the sun.
Why is there a cactus people chasing him? Wow, so that was weird. It seems like there was just a completely separate two things happening at the same time. An intro just saying, hey, they had harnessed the power from the sun, and panning over to show something harnessing the power from the sun, and then people in cactus suits. So these look like these are levels. Yeah. And so with every level, I guess you unlock, once you've done everything, something like this, which is concept art. Okay. which is just far too fancy of concept art, really. You're overpaying an artist somewhere there, in my opinion. Okay. So we can start by just breaking things to get a general idea of what's important and what isn't.
This doesn't look like a job for Superman.
There's a whole foreground area. We'll let the Joker destroy this and see what's behind this wall.
Leave this to me.
And that just opened up a plant thing. And you have a whole bunch of little Lego things in gold versions. Breaking that made something appear here. So I think we're building a statue so we can twist this statue so then we can shoot the laser. What does this do? That's our cauldron. Whole bunch of Lego stuff to break. Gain some more studs from that. It's still fairly difficult to destroy everything in an area. So I see there's like a plant up there made out of Lego, so that probably plays a bigger role. Looks like we're going to be playing some music at some point. The problem with this is this really highlights the overall problem with Lego games in general, is that just destroying stuff is the best solution. So you reduce the amount of things you interact with. It's reductive. And if it was a puzzle game, maybe that would make some sense, that you would reduce the number of things you could interact with.
Maybe we could bribe him if he leaves. Beguile him out. We need a plan. I can't get this forever.
So I guess the idea is we're supposed to be helping the bad guys, which you definitely go back and forth on that idea too. So we need to get that third plant. Probably just means we need to push this a little bit further. Yep. Okay. So if that did that, then what does this plant over here do? We need to twist this a lot more. Probably to the full direction this way. I mean, it's hitting the plant, but it doesn't seem like it's accomplishing anything by hitting the plant. So maybe there's something more we have to do later. And that threw the flower down here. Now we do our beguiling poison ivy spray to betray Jimmy Olsen.
The wonders of nature. Allow me to spread the good word of the trees.
And see, that definitely does not feel right. Like, Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen really are characters that, even when you're playing as the villain, you should treat fairly nicely and not
Read all about it. That was
betray.
buffoon. Guess you just can't get the love struck help you need. I don't suppose you know how to put those back in correctly. Nah, I guess you wouldn't. I wonder if there's a note somewhere.
So I guess these guys in the cactus outfits are saying they work for Poison Ivy, which they honestly should have said that directly.
What's this? A new decoration for my garden, perhaps?
There's Lois Lane, which almost certainly Lois Lane has no abilities. Jimmy Olsen, same thing. So while you might have some entertainment playing as them for about 5 minutes, you're going to very quickly get frustrated in the fact that they can't accomplish anything. If you were going to have characters that didn't have abilities, then you needed to probably have some zones that were anti-supervillain, anti-superhero areas where you had to walk through like a metal detector-like device. So we can see in the back there the solution.
Nobody got time for that.
Oops, I guess it's... I guess it is instead this one. No, yeah, it's this one first. The 3.
Let us try again. We have to get it right eventually. Right? No. Maybe we should find that clue then.
Yeah. Ain't nobody got time for that is a dated reference at this point. And him jumping, throwing a non-explosive pie is distracting. Victory. Save the planet, victory. Notice how the camera zooms in really close so you actually can see that.
Mother Nature thinks. Take scanning substances as a gift.
You know you guys actually plans, right? So why don't you make like a tree and head out of here?
Yep. And so they seem like they're just going to be around forever. Activating that seems to not really do anything. And you can't really fly as much up here in this area. Yeah. It's weird there isn't a Jimmy Olsen character token here. Okay. Push it a little that way. Push it that way. Definitely seems like that is lit up and causes that to spin. So when we jump away from that, I guess it slowly slows down. Is there more plants we can break? Not enough to matter. So, file finder, 8 of 20 was just accomplished. Number of case files in Arkham and Bellreeve have been misplaced in unsecured briefcases around Earth and somehow around Apocalypse. There are 30 briefcases in total to find. So file finder is a direct indication of, of the number of characters you've unlocked via the suitcases. I guess they're supposed to be briefcases. Tending to your guardian is priority number 1. Don't forget to water your plants, particularly cacti. Okay. So there's a gold brick down that way. Let's see. What do we have to do with this?
I will leave this for lesser to take care of.
Who are we thinking could get through here? Guess we'll try Poison Ivy. It's a Blaze comic books. We could try Heatwave.
All right. Let's get this done right.
Do we have somebody that's fairly neutral? Constantine seems to work. I don't know why Constantine specifically worked there. I guess maybe he was just a hero. So this is going to be a race. So we'll switch to a reverse flash. One. So we're just kind of running around in circles, and it seems to be about all there is to it. So can we get up to 1,000? So, it seems like you could do that again and get to 1,000. Let's try that again and just see if there's maybe an achievement around that. It seems to be more a case that they're spawning. And I'm not sure if anything is despawning as much as maybe new things just don't spawn as fast. It might be also that there isn't much more. Yeah, there may not be 1,000 points worth collecting. Alright, well, that's a decent amount of studs, but not really the best amount of studs, because we still really are at a loss as far as easy ways to get to 50 million. We're making progress there, but it'll probably take another 20 minutes at least. Is this the lady that was dancing, or is this just another minifig in a yellow jacket?
Even I could get a reservation. Guys, could start nicer.
We're also looking for phone booths, if we can find any of those. Now, in the Lego Marvel game, I would say there's the Manhattan they build in Lego Marvel Superheroes is so big that you really do have to be on the ground to try and find half of the collectibles. Where in this case, I kind of think you could probably get away with not doing that and cheating your way through it. Okay. Flying around a lot more. Which might be the solution to this gold brick that we're looking for, is that we may need to go up to come down. Otherwise, I'd have to figure out what ability potentially these Lego hearts are requiring. I don't even know what building this is. I don't think this is Lexpor. Says it's the hospital, thus the hearts. Okay. So then that makes sense. Says the gold brick is in the middle of the hospital. Alright, well, it will be easier probably to get rid of some of these other arrows. Shots toys. I think if we can clear out this whole area, that's probably a smart move.
Shooting.
There's the toy man,
Magical properties.
as far as a file. You have some interesting looking Lego toy things. Every time we see something interesting, it just feels like it should be something that was a part of a level and not hidden away inside a building in the open world. It really is just a tragedy on top of a tragedy for seemingly how few people actually played this game to any decent amount. Interesting cardboard cutouts of minifigs. And then on top of that, even people who would have played the main story and then not really engaged with the open world would have missed significant amounts of content.
Welcome. Allow me to point you in the direction of the nearest dumpster. This is a fine dining invite only 6 months waiting list for establishment.
So they won't let me in, and they've moved the camera at an odd angle. And that character's not even going to be able to do the bars. We should try it once. Before flying. These are interesting little ways to get from point A to point B. But you could potentially only do that 2 or 3 times in the whole game before it would get very repetitive. And so now we have a fire. So we've started a kitchen fire. Are we supposed to do anything else and blow anything else up? Looks like there might have been something more to do. Yeah. I think we're supposed to blow up this fish tank. But interestingly, the B button's not working. I mean, there's nothing else you can do here, and you have little Lego oysters and lobsters. I don't know what button I just pressed there, but X doesn't do anything. Y blows it up. Can we get inside the restaurant? So I'm confused. In fact, let's just play as Batman instead and see if Batman triggers something, because we've seen that happen before where the bat plane ends up being like higher and blowing up things that the chattering teeth don't blow up.
Hey! Now that's a bit rude. Oh, you meant the giant lobster over there.
Yeah. All these lines of dialogues just don't feel paced correctly. The voice acting feels like it was just done on the first try. They didn't spend a lot of effort on it. They figured most people wouldn't see it. Here's yet another picture. Go ahead and melt the starfish. Or melt the tuna, I guess is what that probably is. So, destroy the fancy tables. You can't do anything to the crabs walking around, or the lobsters walking around. Same boat painting. still with nothing behind it. This was supposed to be, I guess, a small stage where a band could have been playing, which would have been an interesting gimmick. Here we have yet another real-world picture, which I assume those are just pre-made assets that they licensed and purchased. Nope, this other fish just to fill the walls and decorate. There's a girl with the pearl earring in Lego form. But you would have thought, why not have a whole mission where you steal a Lego girl with the pearl earring from a museum? That would have been a great thing to potentially have Catwoman do as a level, or as just a side mission. And then just to see how much we can destroy and how much we need to destroy.
Sorry, my cold.
Killer Frost put out the fire. And then the Joker can just pie all of this. And I guess these doors just don't open. And I guess these ovens just don't break. So we've just cleaned out the room once again. Okay. Weirdly, Gold Glider Flash Finder is still somewhere. She's down lower. Steelworks.
Maybe if I commit a crime, it'll just appear.
So I assume Gold Glider is a villain of the Flash.
I've been on the lookout for Flash for a while now. He's always gotten the better of myself and my brother, Captain Cold.
Oh, interesting.
Well, not this time. I hear the Flash is somewhere in the area, and I'm going to seize this chance. I just need to find out what his destination is, so I can head him off.
Okay.
Thank you. Someone around here must have seen something. I shall remain hidden until you gather
Honestly, even it getting quieter when I walk away is probably not necessary for a kid's game. They could have gone lazy and not tried to do that kind of environmental effects. Oh man, I think I'm right on the edge of one part of the world versus another, and I think that's causing some performance issues. Okay. So this is another one of these missions where we have to find people and talk to people. And meanwhile also keeping an eye out for other things. Okay, that was one thing. We'll just fly to... seems to indicate a higher point. Is there really somebody up here? Yes, there is.
Where? Did you want me to take a picture or something?
That's 2. Let's fly around. Daily Planet news alarm. Health inspectors closed down the seafood restaurant after an outbreak of lobsters. So as villains, we are creating some mischief. That's notable. And but it's all just kind of kid-friendly mischief. It's not like we're making the world more villain-friendly or anything like that. Or the bad guys are actually winning. Here we have a model of the solar system known as an orrery. Can we go ahead and do that too? Solar eclipses happen when the sun's rays are blocked by the orbiting moon. Text stopped out of fun science facts. So, I guess we're looking for a solar eclipse. Okay. We want... Like, is this something you stand on and squish? Is this something you break? Alright. Do you jump on this? Do we do this? What are we supposed to be doing to start with? Hold the B button longer. Okay, so we have one powered, and then you have to have this top-down perspective. And I don't think this is actually that difficult. I think this is really just a matter of we spin around until all of the switches are lit up. Which slowly, I think everything is just going to line up in one big line. But maybe not. Let's wait till the one blue switch is lit up, and then we'll walk away and step on that blue switch and see what that does. The shadow there does that. So we're doing the shadows, not the actual Lego pieces. So this is a real experiment on just Lego concepts and lighting effects. That breaks that. Okay. So you have to move fairly slow here. To break all these. I have a hard time believing that kids would have figured this out. This seems fairly rough. Whereas it would have made a lot more sense to simply just have the whole thing spin around in one full circle and that be the solution to the puzzle. Instead, I had to go around in circles multiple times to like get that out.
Magical properties.
Okay. We don't want to do any white arrows. We just want to do gold arrows or figuring out who to talk to next. We're in the museum. There's a Lego dog character.
I'm gonna make a great Benedict. No, Florence. Now I can't. Oh, these eggs aren't real. Guys, of course.
And so we need to get all the goons working on our side. There's a scarab, which I assume has to do with Blue Beetle. What's interesting here is you have a female goon, and I just don't think we saw any female goons in the main story. Then just a Shakespeare bust. Flying pterodactyl. It's kind of funny because you had a museum level in Arkham City, which I played a few months previous to playing this, and it was a much bigger level, certainly, but this gets the job done, I think, just as well. Like, to have a very small room and call it a museum for what you are trying to accomplish.
Hey! Those guys made the flashy sneakers. That's how he runs so fast. Change of plans, gang. Let's see what's hiding inside box number 2.
Where's the man?
I only needed 3 of the 4 goons in that case. And then we have a walking Lego mammoth, baby mammoth, or hopping baby mammoth. Boy, does that animation feel rough. It definitely feels like the B team animated that. Okay, I see another character that we can talk to somewhere. I bet he's this guy on the bench. Why is the camera zooming out so much? There is a cat that has a flash lightning bolt on him in Smallville, so that might be a missing cat. It's kind of ironic that there isn't a DC superheroes equivalent version of this game where you would have run around and found lost cats and done good deeds instead of doing mischief. Or if they wouldn't have secretly revealed that this game actually was half a game of doing good deeds.
Only I could smash my way in.
There's another one of those phone booths. And the phone booths, once they're destroyed, I don't think come back. We have 2 more people I think we need to try and talk to. And plenty of gold bricks to collect. This guy is annoying just because of his sound effects as he follows you. He makes this tiny little zooming sound effect. And then here we have just random dialogue in the subtitles that we're not even hearing. So, I don't even know how I was supposed to defeat that. Just hit it, I guess.
Practical. I hear oil. Pretty flammable. Or combustible, but I don't know. I'm a pirate scientist. What do you think these things think?
You have to face it, I guess, a little bit better. So we're supposed to grab this and then come over here. And I don't know if I was supposed to do something more with it than that.
I won my lucky pants today.
Switch to Captain Cold.
Is it cold or is it just
And
me?
it's probably too much for a simple puzzle here. Just to get 1 gold brick. I didn't even see that plank over the top there. Man, very, very consistently, I'm being given challenges, and then I don't know what the solutions to the challenges are. And then I'm solving the challenges by just doing random actions.
I think good at it. It's not all creatures.
Okay, my question then is, where am I supposed to go? I guess I'm supposed to go over here and talk to this sailor. I'll just talk to him in the ocean.
Well, you're in luck. You can find him in costume at a local comic signing right now. It sure is your lucky day.
So Captain Cold, the #1 enemy of the Flash, getting information of the Flash's whereabouts. Although at a certain point I don't know if superheroes really care. If they probably prefer villains to come directly after them instead of taking attacking civilians. There we had a joke line of dialogue saying war, always changes instead of the Fallout phrase war never changes. It's interesting, Captain Cold breaks things when he's sliding. just go ahead and use this.
Great. It took me days to get inside without tripping the security system. You've undone weeks of planning in just 10 seconds. You want this loot? You'd better get me out.
So here we have another.
Hey, don't look at me. You clean up your own mess.
We'll grab another.
Activate. I've been waiting so long to say that.
Petty, I take offense to that. Defend my honor, whom I've only just met.
Oh no. That wasn't supposed to happen. The boss is gonna be so mad.
So what are you waiting for? Find a way to shut down the... It's a no-brainer.
Bell Rave instead of. He said Bell Rev instead of Bell Reeve. We need Deadshot. And
I can figure this out.
here's the girl with the pearl earring again. But even if you try to keep your like danger rating up as far as the police chasing after you, you can't. There's not enough of them showing up, which is probably a good thing because it would have been pretty bad if there was a ton of them after you. But I'm back down to a 0-star rating, so it doesn't really make a lot of sense that these two are laser shooting at me. But I guess they spawned before that point. So we'll tap here and see what happens when we shoot that one.
Yeah, you did it. We're as thick as right now. I'll be honest. I thought you might just dare me in there. Here. Since you let me out, take this. Now I'm getting out of here. And if I was you, I'd do the same. Later, partner.
There goes the lady cop.
You're going away for a length of time acceptable by the presiding judge of this particular district within Metropolis.
We're still not quite at 50 million. Destroying the Lego dollars, which honestly would have made a lot of sense to see more of those throughout the entire game. Just take out a couple more of those. Alright. We want to go this direction and talk to this guy. Otherwise, we've cleaned out all the gold bricks. There's obviously some races and some other things that need to be done. Just hoping I'm going the right direction. I think I probably am. The audio popping in and fading out and popping in and fading out in a fairly annoying manner. Okay. So there should be a character around here.
The Flash is my favorite superhero. I remember the battle he had with not so cool Captain Cold. Obviously, Flash came out on top and won. He's so great.
Okay, so at that point, there's no other people to talk to. So let's go and turn in that quest. And I guess there's just no real reason to steal from the back of the trucks. you're better off just following guide studs, swinging back and forth and grabbing studs from that direction. And you see a nice collection of studs, walk near them and use the attract studs to bring your numbers up. And then let's just jump down here to the steelworks. Kind of a hidden section that honestly they might as well have left it on the cutting room floor if it was just going to be an empty little room.
Do we have a final destination yet?
Okay. Let's go with the wrong answers first.
Why did you think it would be a good idea to tell me this?
You know what? We should probably do the right answers once just to see if there's an achievement.
I failed to see how that will assist me.
We'll do the first 3 wrong answers, see if there's an achievement.
Cute. But I don't care for anything I named after him.
There are custom lines of dialogue responses, but they're not much.
So, perhaps I could pose as a fan to get in. Useful.
And you need both right answers.
Annoying fans there. With this information, I will seek vengeance for my brother. The Flash will rue the day he crossed my family. Thanks for your help. I won't forget this.
Well-deserved both.
So, there's another character unlocked. I'll switch Reverse Flash for a flying character. Okay. Let's see what this is. This is a race. So we'll do the race. So fairly obviously this is a Superman or flying character race, and you would have very little chance, I would say, of succeeding if you tried to use a plane. Lost some momentum there. I would have taken these races out of the game and put them on rails. This could have been very interesting. This could have been a very interesting transition area in which you would fly from one point to another, or a sequence. Let's see. As far as this requires a motorcycle vehicle or the Flash. Let's try. See if we can do the race as the Flash. I'm going to try and do all of these races basically with the most controllable characters instead of using vehicles. And as we do the races, we're getting hints to other challenges, which maybe we should just focus on the race and not get audio cues to other challenges. Just let the audio play nicely. What kind of is cool, or sucks, I would say a little bit too, is that this audio sounds interesting, and I just don't feel like I have ever even heard it before. This heavy metal take.
I deserve one true speaks.
Okay. Next. Let's see. This is the next highest thing. I think I want to go a little longer today. So close to that 50 million. I may still, though, even if I got everything done in Metropolis, I'm still going to have to potentially run around and find all the telephone booths. Must be up there.
That commute worth time.
There's a character in there. Let's see. I see a character. How am I supposed to interact with the character? It's not a thing. So I assume I'm supposed to take an elevator to get into that area. This is the clock tower.
Worth time.
So it's a demon-like character.
Greetings, dark disciple. You've caught me at an inconvenient time. So no wishes or sacrifices today. I've been relying on my worship to summon me between planes. But doing so has come at a cost. This form of travel left my powers drained, thrown my sinister schemes into uncertainty. I need relic power to recover my strength. And you fight for me. Gotham City would have been a more sensible place to search for dark items such as these. However, Metropolis will have to suffice for now.
So we're looking for red crystals and hot dogs. And I see a lot of gold items being pointed towards that direction, which makes me think there. A lot of items that way. Otherwise, yeah. Well, nope. Seems like there's things just everywhere. Is there anything? This is a bigger challenge than I think I was expecting.
War.
Let's see if we can. Yeah, here's a hot dog. Here's another hot dog. There's that character. And that's almost certainly another Content ID copyrighted song. So. But even that song, it would have been nicer if it had actually been used at a iconic moment in the main story. That gave me one red crystal, so I guess that is a demonic item. Honestly, they really should have just had 3 or 4 Lego paintings. There's another phone booth. I think the game is getting wonkier and wonkier, and it's probably time to exit out and reset the game. Seems like you can only really leave it running for a few hours before you increase the chances of the game getting a little micro stuttery. Although that hasn't been the problem up until this point, so this is a new thing. Is there a way to go down even lower? Yes. What's in this area though? Nothing. Oh, nope.
But I shall take this I can hold this. My magic will make short work.
Almost missed this treasure chest. But had I missed it, it really wouldn't have mattered. So a secret character. Guess what we can take from this is seems to be one at the top here. Seems to be one over here. Seems to be one here, one here, one here. I'm not sure I need to actually collect all of them. There's another fun booth. How many of those do we have left to do? 4. Okay. Yeah. So, somewhere on this tower should be some kind of red thing. There's another suitcase file, but apparently we had already collected that one. I do believe that probably has me now at approaching 50 million, if not at 50 million. So that was a secondary red. Having these LexCorp robots show up more would have made a lot of sense throughout the open world and the game. So we have one here, and one here, one here. The problem with this one was we couldn't find it. It should really be just about here. So unless it's inside the building, which we can try that. In all fairness, had they tripled the number of buildings that you were going up and down elevators for, the game really wouldn't have been any better. Would have been very boring and a waste of time to go up and down elevators, to go in and out of buildings. Even Fallout, which is an interesting comparison to make, had that problem, and I think Fallout really addressed that problem a lot, in that they had a considerable number of buildings that they just destroyed so you couldn't enter them, or there was just nothing inside the buildings for you to care about, so you could see from the inside looking in, the outside looking in, that there was nothing worth investigating. Okay. Let's go. Am I going the right direction? Sorta. Of course, that's a solution that really only works for a game like Fallout that's in a post-apocalypse. You can't have a Lego game where half of Metropolis is destroyed. Hey, there are cats. So I guess the question would come down to, are we supposed to beat on the cats? That doesn't seem like that would be the solution for a Lego game. We're supposed to find cats. My other guy sounds like he's stuck running in circles. Ah, it's a mimic chest. So this is like a library. Once again, one little room. Doesn't have to be particularly fancy. Doesn't have to do anything special. I wonder where this would lead. If both of these leads to the same area, or if this leads to a lower area. Obviously they're playing with verticality here in a way that's not that helpful. Natural History Museum is put on maximum security after Riddler fails to steal Mini Mammoth. Yeah, by far, I would have preferred them to have made Metropolis be a lot more of a flat place that had maybe a few big towering buildings, but really you only needed like the Daily Planet or LexCorp. Take your pick. It could have easily been the Daily Planet, was right in the center of a Metropolis, and then the teleport could have been built secretly on top of the Daily Planet. All the other buildings here, like the Clock Tower and Primo Publishing and Star Labs, could have been very short buildings in comparison, with just a couple of floors. We do have just 2 more of these. So we do have to find them both. Am I going the right direction? Nope. Going the exact opposite direction. We really can't do anything else until we find everything. Can't start another challenge. Okay, here's something making noise. It's another mimic. And then This is, I guess, supposed to be another gallery museum, maybe having to do with Green Lantern. Although there's a picture of Superman. So that might be a reference to something that I'm not getting. Ah, and it's just this hot dog cart. So I walked by a couple times, assuming it spawned in the other 2 times. Which I'm willing to assume it did. And that means we come to the clock tower. And talk to this guy.
Although I've seen better dark offerings from teenagers sleep over. Very good. Your reward will be at hand.
Both the Marvel and the DC universe tease the idea of a devil, but they don't really do anything major with it unless you're talking something like Constantine comics or yeah, Constantine comics would be about the only one that really goes in that direction heavily. You don't get anything like Spawn or a consistent devil that you're fighting or that shows up consistently. The Lucifer comics are literally about the devil, but a more fallen angel Lucifer type devil that's definitely doesn't look like this guy. And anyway, no red skin, no big horns.
I will then use money to take the finest bakery in the land. Velvet cake is difficult to come by day to day. And I do so enjoy and long for it. I used to here. Go away. Cutie.
So, Trigun unlocked. Okay. Let's go and fast travel to Star Labs, which I could have just flown there. Activate this elevator. All these elevators are the exact same design. There's no variety in them because they kind of can't be varied or you wouldn't really get it. Now, technically, I would not want to pick up anything while I'm in here, so that I can then pick it up after purchasing studs times 8. This now leaves us with just studs times 10 and 250 million. When we turn on studs times 8, it will multiply 48 by 8, which should give us 384, I guess was the number. And let's see. We can turn on like demolition mode for now. Super slap just kills enemies quickly, and combat confetti will turn off. So we are at 1,326,720 studs. Let's just walk around and destroy as much as we can and collect guide studs. I don't know if we're really getting major multiplication of guide studs anyways. We just got, let's see, 5,013,000, pick up one guide stud, 5,016,000. So it gives you about 6,000. Just about 6,000 studs. noticeably this area is a lot quieter and less interesting in that there's no characters once we've solved all of the challenge of this area, and there's nothing to do. And we're getting things on our phone, but I can't do anything about it because I can't pull up the phone in this level. So that cleaned up the whole area and got me about 9 million studs. So, alone, just wandering around, we won't get to 250 million instantaneously. But there is a decent chance that in the next episode we will get to 250 million and get the final multiplier. Let's see. Trigun says, our relationship is strained. She isn't taking my calls, lol. Have you seen Raven, lol? Oh, Trigun is, yeah, like the father of Raven, the bad guy. So it's supposed to be, have you seen Raven, lol? She isn't taking my calls, lol. Our relationship is strained, lol. So he's not really even a direct equivalent to a devil character. Is this a phone booth? Nope. That was a newsstand. Which maybe there should have been some challenge around newsstands being destroyed. I'm also a little surprised. You could have seen an example of a much bigger world where you would have had to use the bus to get from one side of Metropolis to the other. Okay. So we have quite a few races. We have a mini kit viewer, which we might as well just check that out later. So we have races, more challenge here, and then another race here, and then a gold brick here, and a gold brick here, and a race here. So we really didn't solve even the entirety of Metropolis in this episode. Good news is, though, I think we made a good amount of progress towards telephone terror. And these hints would tell me what the last couple are if we need that help. And we're making decent progress as far as file finder, and each hint there would help us. So, yeah. We're overall making a decent amount of progress. Unfortunately, the numbers just don't really reflect that. In this hour and 20-minute episode, we have only gone up maybe 1%. I can't say we even went up 2% from like 49 to 50.6%. And that has to just heavily be focused around the fact that a lot of times when we do something, we're not even getting gold bricks, or we're spending 5-10 minutes to do something to get one gold brick. We haven't done a graffiti thing in quite a while. We don't have a statue to mess up. There's no mini kits in there. We are unlocking characters, but that's kind of it. And we may be unlocking characters, but I don't really want to play as those characters. And a lot of them still require being purchased, even if I am unlocking the ability to purchase them, and we won't do that until we're completely at the end of the game. It's very possible we will the game will say we're somewhere around 80% complete on, and then I'll just purchase all of the available vehicles and characters, and it will jump from 80 directly to 100. But yeah, overall it seems very slow going. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. There's a bunch of social media and support links down below in the description box also if you want to check those out. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.